Howdy. Welcome to my truck. We're back and we're better than ever. Sorry, I'm gonna try to move because I've got the windows down because currently my air conditioner is not working. So I've got the windows down and I guess I could just cut the truck off. I don't know. That's not a bad idea. Whew. Anyway, yeah, let me just cut the truck off. That works. Solves the noise problem. Yeah, what's going on? I'm out here on the farm right now. Just met with my landlord, some of my landlords, and talked about this year and upcoming farm related business. And I was about to pack my pipe and smoke me a bowl on my way home from work. Thought I would make a review. I grabbed this tin of tobacco specifically because my son is going through his 4-month sleep regression, and we're having a time with him. We're having a time. And so when I was looking at my shelf of pipe tobacco and deciding what tobacco I should open for the first time, because remember, I've got a plethora. I'm a tobacco buyer. I'm a tobacco collector. And when I looked at the shelf, one stuck out, and that is Exhausted Rooster. Now, obviously, if you look at this tin art, Exhausted Rooster, well, he's exhausted from not from too many babies, not from babies keeping him up at night. Let's just say that. Maybe too much making babies, if you want to read into the tin art. But I thought too applicable for me, is just as somebody who's just exhausted. So anyway, we've got a slight, I don't know if you can see that, there's a slight bulge on this tin, which is pretty exciting. That means there's a little bit of fermentation going on. And then when I looked at the date on the tin, it's 7/18/24. So you're talking about over 2 years. No, not over 2 years. 7/18/24. A year and a half, right? 25. Yeah, 7/18 of this year would be 2 years. So, but a year and a half of age, and already got a little bit of fermentation going on. That's pretty exciting. Almost hate to open it. Almost. Maybe I shouldn't. Should I? Because I've got another tin I can open. I put it in my truck for safekeeping for in the future. I could sample Lone Sentinel and then buy a brand new tin of Exhausted Rooster and give it a shot. Let's read the tin note. Let's read the I'm tired. Sorry. My brain's not working real well. Let's read the tin description on both and we'll see. Lone Sentinel, a rich and commanding blend of whole leaf red and orange Virginias and pure St. James Perique. This traditional Virginia Perique plug stands the test of time, providing the complex strata of piquant spice, piquant, P-I-Q-U-A-N-T, piquant spice, fermented stone fruits, and subtle citrus. Man, I love Virginia Perique. Exhausted Rooster, a tasty flake of Virginias, dark fire burley, and a dash of Perique, blended especially for the Chicagoland Pipe Show years. I don't know that in my truck is where I want to open up a tin of potentially fermented and aged pipe tobacco. So let's do Lone Sentinel. let's crack into that. I'll break out my trusty knife. I don't know if you can read that. It says Imperial on it, and carbon steel. It's funny. This is the best I've ever kept up with a knife in my entire life. I bought it on a whim at a parts house, and somehow, actually, I don't even think it's carbon steel. I think it's stainless steel. Yeah, maybe carbon. Not 100% sure. Anyway, bought it on a whim because I've been staring at it. I like the kind of yellowish handle, pommel, whatever you would say, and the little brass accent. I really like that too, you know. So anyway, I've kept up with it for a pretty good while. Pretty excited. And now I get to use it, which is something funny that what's his face, Jeremy Reeves said, you know, he reaches for a plug whenever he feels like using his knife. All right, here we go. Hold on, let me get to where I can hear this. No fermentation going on here yet, unfortunately. But you know what? Smells like Bayou Morning, let's just say off the bat. But got some like almost like barn, like a barn smell. Barn hay, almost manure-y, earthy. And good manure-y, not bad manure-y. But you get that stone fruit, kind of like, you know, Bayou Morning has. That fig, kind of raisiny. Yeah, but like almost like garden soil. It's interesting. Sometimes this little inside piece of paper, I really struggle with. Especially when the little cutout deal is not, it's not punched through. Anyway, it doesn't matter. All right, now look at that. Reminds me of man, that's a good looking cake right there. Reminds me of the first time I ever tried chewing tobacco. It's kind of what that reminds me of. Okay, which is a story for another time. But when I say chewing tobacco, I don't mean like dip Copenhagen. I don't mean that, because that's a completely different story. I mean like Red Man. I've got a dirty plate that I just found in my floorboard that we're gonna use to cut this. Okay, well, you better be prepared, you know, with a decently sharp knife and a decent spot to cut this plug. I don't know if I didn't have something to lay that down on, how easily that would have cut. But we got through it. Now let me, I mean, I'm not gonna say I'm a perfect plug cutter. This is a little bit thicker than what it would come if you got a flake, but not that much. Let's see if I can get to focus. Yeah, not that much thicker than you would get it if you got a flake. So that's pretty proud of that. Let's do a little bit of tobacco. Do a little bit of tobacco rubbage. It's really going to be too much tobacco for the pipe that I have selected. I've got a kind of a small bowl, but I've got another bowl that I can pack, so we'll be okay. We'll survive. We'll get through this. But you deal with a different product when it's a plug. It's whole leaf plug, because this is I don't know. You're not used to this big a leaf. I'm not as someone who's smoked a lot of plug tobaccos. It's just, man, these are just whole leaves. It feels primitive. I feel like this is what the pipe smokers of yore, this was their experience of. Actually, this bowl is going to hold all this, and I probably could have cut a tad more, so that's good. The settlers pulling a bit of tobacco out of their pouch. This, may would have been what it kind of looked and felt like. Maybe not. I don't know. Who knows? This is just conjecture. This is just me filling the air. I will say, with a small bowl though, it's going to be interesting to see how this burns. Not with a small bowl, but like with the way, I did cut it a little bit thicker, and it's whole leaf. Wonder, how that will affect the, the burn and the flavor profile. But I think that's what people like about plugs, is you're in control. I'm a little bit in the wind. forgive me, but I'm trying to draw to mind what exactly I think. What exactly I think about this. It's I mean, my mind just keeps saying, that tastes like Bayou Morning Flake. That tastes like Bayou Morning Flake. And it does. But it's got its own, you smoke Bayou Morning Flake, it's like, I don't know, it's the fruitiness is a little bit more forward, if that makes sense. And this is the fruitiness is turned down, earthiness turned up. You know, you definitely, I feel like, maybe get more of the Virginias out of this blend. Yeah. Definitely got getting that just like kind of earthiness, that deep almost coffee, almost coffee like flavor profile. Have you ever had a dark chocolate? Have you ever had one of those coffee beans wrapped in dark chocolate? That's kind of what this tastes like. Which, if you haven't tried that, I recommend that you do. Don't eat too many, because it will keep you up. I mean, I like it. It's I think gonna be a good tobacco to keep in a jar in my truck. I mean, I think Jeremy hit it on the head. You know, I think these are good tobaccos to take with you when you're on the go, when you're traveling. You maybe don't want to take that that special vintage whatever you have. You may not want to take your most favorite the expensive pipe tobacco that you have that you save for special occasions. You don't want to take that on a trip. This, you don't feel bad about taking on a trip. Or leave it in your vehicle, like, you know. Leave it in your tractor if you're me. This is going to be a good one to smoke while I'm working, because it's the flavors are robust. They're maybe one dimensional. They maybe don't carry a lot of nuance, but I think would serve a really great purpose if you're looking for, you know, pipe tobacco to, you know, to smoke in the morning, or really, I don't know. I mean, it's 4, 5 o'clock in the afternoon. I don't know. Maybe, I mean, maybe it could be an all-day smoke for somebody. It's definitely got that Perique spice to it. You know, and I like that. I like that a little bit of spice. Why is it spicy? But not too much. Not too much at all. yeah, I'm going to look forward to smoking this throughout the spring, summer, and I don't know, however long that 10 lasts me. But I'm gonna have to go back and watch this video specifically and see if I feel like the flavor changes. I've heard Pipes, Tobacco, and Whiskey talk about artificially aging tobacco, put it in a jar, putting it in the oven, taking it out, putting it in, taking it out, which I see it as no different than leaving in the console of my truck. What do they call that? Well, I'm not even gonna try. I was thinking maybe, but rapid fermenting, attempting to rapid ferment a tobacco. So I mean, I'll have to go back and watch this and see if I notice the flavor changing along the way. Excuse me. But it smokes good once you get it lit. And I'm pretty hungry right now. I wish I had a snack. Maybe make sure you've eaten breakfast before you light this up. I may be feeling a little bit of nicotine, but that's all I got. I'm about to go to a city council meeting if I'm not too late, and try to make an appearance. I spoke about our town has experienced a natural disaster, and I and a few other concerned citizens are disappointed in the way that our town and parish government has handled the situation. And anyway, planning on making an appearance and observing our local government. So we'll see how that goes. All right. Hope you're all doing well. I'm smoking it out of a Moonshine Hillbilly I got as an estate pipe on smokingpipes.com. And it's a good one. It's a good one to have around. It's got some really pretty bird's eye. Good work pipe. Got a decent sized bowl on it. I gotta be honest. It's like I smoked this rot pipe. It's got the horn stem on it a lot, and I think this has got a bigger bowl than it does. You can pack more in there. But anyway, hey, wherever you are, hope you're doing well. We'll holler at you later.